In just a moment, there we go. We have Zoom going. We are ready to continue the calendar on November 27th, 2023. What matter do you have ready?
If we could call Tiffany Bustamante, number 10.
Tiffany Bustamante.
And Your Honor, at this time, we waive formal reading and further advisement. Make no objection or probable cause. Ask the court to enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Bustamante, and we are asking that our office be appointed to represent her. She indicates she's been unemployed for about a month and a half now.
Okay, based on representations of counsel, I will find probable cause. I'll enter a plea of not guilty. And to each count, and I will appoint the Thurston County Public Defender's Office to represent you. I have Ms. Bustamante. Good afternoon. Sorry I had to take that quick break. I have a mailing address for you, 6233 Steamboat Island Road, Northwest. Is that still a good mailing address?
Yes, that is.
Okay. Would you like to get text message reminders for court?
Yes.
What's a good number for that? 999-1407. Okay, and I will hear from the state on conditions of release, please.
Your Honor, the defendant has 4 prior DWIs, 3 convictions, 1 active warrant out of Grant Superior Court for possession of a controlled substance with no prescription from 2014, and 20 failure to appear warrants in the last 10 years. As such, the state has no objection to PR with heightened DUI conditions of no criminal law violations, no drugs or alcohol, no bars or taverns, no driving without a valid license and insurance, no refusal, BAC and PTS supervision with UAs. The state is concerned that given the defendant's history of DWIs 3s, the defendant could potentially get another DUI absent adequate pretrial supervision.
Your Honor, we would object to anything outside the standard conditions. Ms. Bustamante does not have any previous DUI charges or convictions. I don't believe that concerns regarding her license suspension charges is indicative of a necessity to report to pretrial services or do UAs. So at this time, we would just be asking that the standard conditions be imposed.
Okay. Well, at the moment, I'm not going to require pretrial services supervision. I am going to indicate that you need to at least take steps toward clearing up that, what was it, Grant County Superior?
Yeah, Grant County, I tried doing it before, but they wouldn't let me quash it over the phone. They told me I had to get an attorney to call over there because they couldn't verify who I was over the phone.
I understand that. But I'm still wanting you to take some steps toward getting that quashed.
Okay.
Your next court appearance will be January 17th at 10:30. I will say, Ms. Bustamante, I understand you might not be able to get that quashed But next time you're in court, I want to hear what steps, and you can tell your attorney, you don't need to
Okay.
tell me directly, but I want to hear what steps have been taken to try to get that dealt with. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I am signing that order.
From like 2014. Yeah, I know. They told me that I had to be there in person to close the warrant. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that will be it for this afternoon. We'll see you back here on January 17th. I've appointed the Thurston County Public Defender to represent you, so if they don't reach out to you in a day or two, you reach out to them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next matter, please.
Your Honor, if we could call Joseph Alvarez.
Joseph Alvarez. Good afternoon. You're Joseph Alvarez?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes.
I have a mailing address for you. Oh, still a good mailing address?
Yes.
Okay. Do you wish to receive text message reminders for court?
Please.
What's a good telephone number for that? I didn't quite catch the last two. Okay, Mr. Pazderka.
Your Honor, at this time we waive formal reading and further advisement, make no objection or probable cause for purposes of this hearing only, and ask the court to enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Alvarez. We are asking that our office be appointed to represent him as he is currently unemployed.
Okay, based on representations of counsel, I do find probable cause. I'll enter a plea of not guilty, and I will appoint the Thurston County Public Defender's Office to represent you. Having done so, I will hear from the state on any conditions of release.
Yes, Your Honor. The NCIC indicates the defendant has a prior DUI from 2020. It looks like out of California that says prosecution was rejected due to lack of sufficient evidence. In this case, the defendant refused field sobriety tests and BAC and was speeding and weaving significantly. As such, the state has no objection to PR with heightened DUI conditions. We have no criminal law violations, no drugs or alcohol, no bars or taverns, no driving without a valid license and insurance, no refusal, BAC, ignition interlock device, and scram.
Your Honor, we would object to the heightened conditions. The prior DUI charge was not a conviction. It was a dismissal. As such, this would be Mr. Alvarez's first offense. Or given this charge, he has no prior offenses. We do not believe that is necessary for him to have heightened conditions at this time, as he has appeared, intends to appear going forward, and will comply with the standard conditions.
Mr. Alvarez, I do appreciate that you are here and you've been waiting a while. There are a number of people who haven't bothered to take the time to appear before us today, and so I'll be issuing warrants for them. But for you, because you're here, I'm not going to issue the enhanced conditions that were requested. I am releasing you on your own recognizance. You're not to have a criminal law violation. You're not to go to any bars or taverns. You're not to drive without a valid license and insurance. You're not to consume any alcohol, marijuana, or non-prescribed drugs. And you're not to refuse a breath or blood test if one is requested. Your next court date will be January 17th at 10:30. And I'm signing that over. Okay, that will be it for this afternoon, Mr. Alvarez. Just make sure you get in good contact with your attorney and do everything that I've ordered, all right?
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you. And which one will be next?
Whenever you call Michael Best next.
Michael Best. Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. I have a mailing address for you. That's still a good mailing address?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you wish to receive text message reminders for court?
I do, sir.
What would be a good telephone number for that?
36.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
President,
we would waive formal reading and further advisement as make no objection probable cause for purposes of this hearing only. Ask the court to enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Best. And we are asking him to be appointed to our office as we currently represent him on a couple other cases as well.
okay. So these other cases that show as backups, are those the ones?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what we have on the case that we're on for today. It says Michael Robert Best. On the other cases, on the backups, they're all Robert Michael Best. Which one is correct?
Michael Roberts, sir.
Michael Robert. All right.
I think on my ID it's Robert Michael, but it's missing ID, so they just. It's
Well, your call is fading in and out a bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's Michael Robert.
Okay. And I believe we had a stipulation to probable cause. I'll enter a plea based on that. I will enter a plea of not guilty and appoint Thurston County Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's Mr. Pazderka, is that specifically you as his attorney or just the office?
It is specifically me, Your Honor.
Okay, it will be Mr. Pazderka time. I will hear from the state on conditions.
I apologize, Your Honor. I was trying to confirm whether in which cases release conditions have been set for the defendant's backup matters. But either way, the defendant, I believe, has had release conditions set in at least one of the backup matters. He has a drug possession charge pending. As such, the state requests bail in the amount of $10,000. In addition, the state requests standard DUI conditions of no criminal law violations, no drugs or alcohol, no bars or taverns, no driving without a valid license and insurance, and no refusal of BAC.
Your Honor, we would object to any bail being imposed. Mr. Best is here today. He has appeared for his other cases as well. He has no current warrants out. And specific to the drug possession, that case, probable cause was not found in, and believe that as such should have no bearing on release conditions in this case. And so for those reasons, we ask that standard conditions be imposed in PR release.
Okay. Well, I will say, Mr. Best, that I am at least a little concerned with the other allegations. However, they are, at least at this point, looks like, well, there's one conviction I see, but mostly it looks like it's just allegations at this point. So I'm not going to have you taken in on $10,000. Since I just appointed Mr. Pezderka to represent you, I already have a good idea of what your finances are like, and that would simply be holding you in custody until trial. At least that would be my understanding. Okay. The 17th, or we're going to try to set most of these together. At 9? Okay. Pardon?
Did she make motions to revoke or are they just backups?
They are just backups at this moment. I haven't heard any motions to revoke.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Best, I've told you your conditions of release and your next court date. I'm putting them in an order for you. You'll be able to get a copy of that from your attorney. Sounds like you're already in good contact with them.
Yes, sir.
Not trying to make a joke here, but I want you on your best behavior, Mr. Best. I do get a little concerned when people suddenly start getting a bunch of charges. I'm sure you don't like it either.
No, sir. No, no, sir.
Okay, that'll be it for today. No criminal law violations. Don't go to any bars or taverns. Don't drive without a valid license or insurance. Don't consume any alcohol, marijuana, or non-prescribed drugs. Don't refuse a breath or blood test if one is requested. And again, just as a reminder, that's January 17th at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that will be it for this afternoon, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Finally, we could call Mr. Beckford, Your Honor.
Greg Beckford.
Can you hear me?
I can. Are you able to turn on a camera?
No, I can't, sir. It's broken.
Okay. I like to see who I'm talking to, but if the camera doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay, I have a mailing address for you. Let's see here. 54. Is that still a good mailing address?
Yes, it is.
Okay, do you want to get text message reminders for court?
Yes.
All right, possibly, well, what's a good number?
Yes.
Okay,
Your Honor, at this time, we would waive formal reading and further advisement. Make no objection to probable cause for purposes of this hearing only. Ask the court to enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Beckford, and we are asking our office to be appointed to represent him. He indicated to me he's currently unemployed.
okay. Based on representations of counsel, I do find probable cause. I'll enter a plea of not guilty, and I will appoint the Thurston County Public Defender's Office again on representation of counsel as to the financial situation. There is two counts that are in backup. They're traffic infractions. I'm going to have those track along with this, even though the Public Defender's Office doesn't handle infractions. Sometimes they can be worked out as part of a resolution. So I'm going to have those track along, and I will hear from the state on conditions of release.
Your Honor, per the police report, the defendant caused a 3-car collision on I-5 after knowingly operating defective equipment on his vehicle. The defendant has 8 prior DWLS, 3 convictions, as well as a long history of failure to appear warrants. I count 17 in the last 10 years. As such, the state requests bail in the amount of $2,500. In addition, the state requests no criminal law violations and no driving without a valid license and insurance, as well as to check in with PTS to ensure the defendant continues to attend court dates.
Your Honor, we would object to any bail being imposed. Mr. Beckford has appeared today. This is a driving while license, 3rd-degree charge. I do not see that he has any active warrants at the moment. I don't believe that there is any reason to believe that he would not appear in the future. And I don't believe any evidence that there's a risk of violence going forward, or violent charges going forward.
Okay. I do see enough driving while suspended to make me very concerned that Mr. Beckford, I want you to be very certain you do not, and this is entirely within your control. So no criminal law violations, no driving without a valid license and insurance. I don't think that is too much to ask, particularly when the state was indicating a fairly substantial amount of bail. So I want you to keep that in mind, that the next judge might not set the same conditions if you were to violate these. In fact, probably won't if you violate these. Next court appearance.
Let's do the 117.
Will be January 17 at 10:30. Signing that order now. Yes. Yeah, I appointed Thurston County Public Defender's Office. Okay, I have signed that release order. Mr. Beckford, no driving unless you have a valid license and insurance, and I do expect you to obey that. Looks like realistically you'd need to do a retest and pay a reissue fee and get SR22 insurance to get your license back. So it's within reach. The reissue
I'm
fee looks
hoping
like
so.
$170. So since I didn't impose bail, you might consider trying to get relicensed again. I'm not going to order it, but I think it'd be in your own best interest.
Yes, it will. And I will try to go get it.
Okay. All right, that will be it for today. Mr. Beckford, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Pastorka, do you have any representations on any of the remaining cases?
I do not, Your Honor.